All right. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Brian, and today is Thursday, October 24th. Wow, pretty crazy. And we're here for Forex Live, and what we'll be doing today, as always, for our morning classes, is we'll be utilizing Forex Joe's daily regimen to capture data, and we use that in conjunction with the 22 currency pair daily report to go through, get all of our information, and place some live trades. So we show how we utilize the daily report in conjunction with the daily regimen to find and post live trades under live market conditions. So that's what we'll be doing today. Obviously, we do need to let you know that unique experiences and past performances do not guarantee future results. Trading does involve risk. I highly encourage everyone to use a demo account when they're first starting out and make sure that you really understand what you're applying to the markets in order to make those things work. Obviously, you know, I'm looking and giving my interpretation to the trades that we'll find in the daily report, but absolutely is up to you to to do that on your own and find your trades as well. So I'm going to pause for a second though and give you an opportunity to read through the disclaimer, and then from there we will get started with our trading day. All right, that should be long enough on the disclaimer, so let's minimize that. Let's close that. All right, so what do we have going on for the day? Well, just chopping around. Even with news, we're still chopping around. not a whole lot going on right now. So let's see here. Let's start with the Euro USD. What I'll be doing today, and just looking at the attendee list, I'm pretty sure everyone on the attendee list already has this. But what we're doing today is utilizing our daily trading regimen. It looks like this. It's a checklist that Forex Joe has given us to go through and capture our data. It does a couple of things for us. One, it gives us consistent approach to the marketplace, which is very, very, it's a key piece. Takes motion out of it when you've got some consistency in your approach. And it also keeps our finger off the button until we get all the pertinent data. So helps us be a little bit less impulsive with our potential trades. And that, of course, is found a couple of different places in your members area. You can find it when you go to Forex Live in the schedule. You can find it there. It's also under downloads. It's under downloads here under Forex Live. It's all over the place. So you can find that file and utilize it. I always print out a hard copy. I'm still pretty tactile, so I print out a hard copy and actually write on it. It gives me a kind of a trading journal as to what we're doing for what I'm trading throughout the day. All right, so we'll be going through that, and we'll also be utilizing the daily report. So everyone should also have open their daily report, which can be found under Forex Alerts, daily reports, and when you click on that, it will give you the list of the most recent reports, and obviously the top one is always the most current report, and you can just click the top one, and that'll bring up your daily report for you, which looks like this. So, getting started, we're going to begin with the Euro USD, and this typically will just take you a couple of minutes to do, maybe 2-3 minutes per currency pair. It takes a little bit longer per currency pair when we do it in class because we talk a lot about what we're doing, why we're doing, what it is, and do some additional analysis. So anyway, current price on the euro is 38.04. It's been a nice little run over the past year, hasn't it? So 38.04 is where we're currently trading on the Euro USD. And now we want to capture our channel information. So we pop over to our daily report, and we're concerned here with our daily channel. What's our short-term channel? The report gives us short-term, mid-term, and long-term. And we see here our short-term channel on the Euro USD has a channel top of 37.85, and we have a channel bottom of 37.28. Now, something to note here is on our short-term channel, 37.28, we also see that it's in alignment with the midterm channel that's right above it. So we have a daily and a weekly. They're both lining up, so we call that a 2 of 3. So we have 3 opportunities, right? So we're seeing 2 of the 3 opportunities line up here. So this is telling us that this is a pretty darn solid level of support for us when we're seeing this. If we see 3 of 3, it's even better. But for right now, 2 of 3 is just grand. Another thing to note is above us here if we break through this 37.85, we have a major channel lining up at 41.84 here on the euro. So that's a number we haven't seen in quite a while, but one for your back pockets. If we continue this upward trend as we get closer and closer to that 41.84, we may see that turn into a 3 of 3 channel, and that could be a big number for us too. But for right now, we're concerned with 37.85 and 37.28, which is here, and then any alignment that might occur around those numbers. Next thing we're going to capture is our support and resistance levels. So we're currently trading at 3,800 basically. I actually just spiked, didn't it? We were currently trading at 38.04. So what we had there was support below us at 37.88 and 37.66, and then above us we had resistance 38.11. and then 38.69 up there. So we've got that. Next thing we want to know, are we trending or are we oscillating for the day? Wow, what drove that? Was there another news report? No? It's funny, it just goes to show there's no real rhyme or reason sometimes around this market. Anyway, let's keep doing what we're doing. Are we trending or oscillating for the day? Let's have a look over here, and looks like we're in an upward trend for the day. It chopped around a bit here and is now going again, but still, we're seeing higher lows being made. So the key question we want to ask ourselves, though, is have we broken above 37.85 or below 37.28? Have we broken out of the channel? And the answer there is yes, we did. We broke through the channel. As a matter of fact, we broke it here kind of midway into the Tokyo session, and then it chopped using that 37.85 as a support level, and really pushed up from it, came back, broke through it, and then again was using it as support after that. So definitely 37.85 had been a significant number for us that once that channel was broken, it's just moved on. Average range, well, today we've moved 60 pips from top to bottom. Average range on this, once we get out of the summertime blues and kind of past this current range-bound market following the government shutdown, is typically 100 pips or so. We usually move about 100 pips. Now today we've moved 60. Even the 130-day range, because of the summertime slowness combined with this government shutdown that we were in, kept markets very range-bound. It's really only about 70 pips. So the shorter term, well, I shouldn't say shorter term, but the most recent average range is closer to 70 pips. So, we're somewhere between 70 and 100 pips for this currency pair. Next thing we want to capture is news. Is there any news coming up? What's happening out on the news front? We just popped over and had a look at that really quickly. We see that we just had news about half an hour ago, and unemployment claims are higher, which is bad news for us. Looks like this manufacturing index was down. And the next one we have up is home sales, and this might be the real, driver for us for the day. A lot of times what we'll have is you have news occur, it'll spike up, it'll pull down, and then it'll chop around waiting for this last one to occur, kind of like the hokey pokey, right? So, we wait for this last one to occur, and this might be the real catalyst for our direction today. Now, if it comes out mixed and home sales happens to be up, then that would throw kind of a wrench into things. But this could be the catalyst for the real movement today to break us out of this 60 pip channel that we're currently in. So anyway, long way to say news, yes. There is news coming up, and it's coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern, so here in about an hour. All right, and last thing we're going to look at before we start looking for trading opportunities is what's going on in the futures market. And so we always use this dashboard. It's really nice. Finviz.com, great free site to look at. Gives you a beautiful heads-up dashboard, and from here we can see very quickly and easily, are we the Dow is up, gold and silver are up, crude's down slightly. So, but overall we're seeing a positive lean to the futures market. So that slight positive would give us typically a negative U.S. dollar. So we'll see if that continues through the day. It's probably really more mixed than anything, isn't it? But slight lean to the positive side when we look at futures. So very, very slight positive lean, which means dollar weakness. So, and why is that? Well, again, I just, for any of those of you that are brand new, we look at this because as we see money flow into the Dow, into crude, into gold and silver, we see money flow out of the U.S. dollar. We're taking liquid positions here in U.S. dollars and putting them into these other futures. If we see money flowing out of these areas, typically we're cashing it out and holding it liquid in dollars. So when you see red across the board, typically you see green here, and when you see green across the board, you typically see red here. Now today's kind of mixed. It's fairly flat, the very, very slight lean to the positive side. We'll see if that continues. We've got one more report to come out, plus we have the floor traders, pit traders coming online here in about 20 minutes, and that could change things as well. So we want to keep an eye on this to get an idea of where the markets are moving and going for the day. All right, so we've gathered our data. We've got our channel information, our support resistance levels, and we know what our average range is, what pitfalls might be in front of us, where the market's leaning, and now we can actually go in and place some trades. So, funky market to trade in right now, isn't it? With this whip. I mean, it's definitely seen a bit of an upward trend, but this is the challenge. It's broken above this channel top here, but now we're just really kind of whipping around here, and it's not finding any real direction. The initial news would tell us that we should see, this moving in the other direction, but the futures market's, kind of agreeing with that, but it's still mixed about it, so we're not really sure. I think we're going to, wait for this report to come out at 10 before we really see any trading opportunities. Obviously, right now, 37.85, which is our channel top, and that's right here near a grid level as well of 37.88, is a major area for us. So 37.85 is really the number to watch right now. 37.85. So mark that on your chart. Let's keep an eye there. Support resistance levels. We've got 38.11. Let's get this out of the way so I can see it. 38.11, which is actually right here where we're currently sitting. And then beyond that, 38.69, which is way up here. Just a spike. Which actually might be a good spot to look for potential reversal. If we do push that high, that would really be the end of what the typical range is for this Euro USD. The other number we've got, it's not on our report, but we've also got 3,800, which is, typically you get these whole numbers. This is typically a pretty good support or resistance level as well. Big psychological level, 3,800, 3,820, 3,850, 3,880. Those are typically, psychological points that we see, tested and retested before price moves on. It's typically where you'll see it stall or stop. So with that said, we've got some areas here that we can look at. Definitely this market sentiment is to the weaker side for the U.S. dollar right now, and with news and including the what happened here in futures recently. So I think what we could say is we've got a couple of trading opportunities. I'm a little bit hesitant to actually put a trade on until we get to that 10 o'clock Eastern time frame when this next report hits. We do have a little bit of time between now and then, so we could probably scalp leading up to that. So if I were forced to pick an area for a potential scalp trade, what I would look at is probably where we are right now and look to buy this off of this 3811 support resistance area. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put this on. I'm going to keep my stop about 10 pips just below this 3800. 3800 I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but let's go ahead and just try this on for size and see what we can do here. I have a feeling we're going to stay fairly range bound leading up to this next bit of news. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to flip a quick buy in here, and what I'm doing is I'm buying here at this 3811 kind of support resistance area, decision point where we're currently at right now, and looking to see if we can get touched in here, and then I'm hiding behind 3800 and just seeing if we can't scalp a little bit prior to this next bit of news coming up. One thing that does scare me a little bit is this wick that pulled back to here on this current candle, but we'll see how it plays out, and let it go from there. 3800 might be a better entry for us, but we'll let this play out and just see how that one goes. As far as parking a sell, right now I'm actually looking up here, and it kind of depends on what news occurs, but this is really the top of what our range has been on this currency. So if we push this high, now again, that kind of depends on what news is. I'm not going to park this right now because we've got news coming up, and there's no way we're going to push this to this level in the next 45 minutes with no news. This would be, we need to see what news does for us. News might push us beyond here, then we come back and we struggle here. After news, I would look to, just depending on where we are, potentially sell off of 3869 if we've pushed up to this and can't break through it. So we'll look here at 3869 for a potential sell, but that'll be after news, and we need to get here before we can really watch this level. So that's what we'll do for right now. Keep your eye on 3800 as well. So we've got a buy on presently at 3811. And we'll see how this one plays out as we go through the pound and the yen. A little bit of a forced trade here. Keep in mind we're just trying to get one on, so probably a little bit forced, but it could be a good level to trade from. We'll see. All right, next up, pound USD. What are we doing here on the pound USD? Current price is 61.59. All right, 61.59, and daily report tells us that we have a channel top, 62.11, and a channel bottom at 60.75. Number above us here, 60.44, number to keep an eye on. Support resistance levels, well, we're currently trading at 61.59, so what do we have? Well, we've got resistance above us at 61.85. And then, or 61.86 rather, and then above that we've got 62.14, which is right there near our channel top, so we keep an eye on those. To the downside, you have 61.11, but what's my brain doing today, right? 61.18, and then 60.96. So there we have our support levels down below, 61.18 and 60.96. Are we trending or oscillating for the day? In a bit of a downward trend on this, but hasn't really moved that much. Hasn't moved too much here for us. So pushed up during Asia, and then really over the last session we've been trending down. But I guess the bigger question is, have we broken our channels? Have we broken above 62.11 or below 60.75? And the answer there is no. We did push above this, broke above, and then closed here, and then immediately was rejected. Next up, average daily range. Well, today we've moved 85 pips. Average range is a bit skewed. We see that 130-day and the 20-day average is about 85 pips as well. We know this currency pair actually has been moving in the 100 to 110 pip range prior to the slowdown for the summer. News, yes, there is news coming up. News coming up in about 40 minutes. And then finally, what's happening in the futures market. We're not going to see a lot of change there presently. Still seeing kind of a weaker U.S. dollar for the lean the futures market here. So futures market slight down for the dollar, slight lean to the positive side for the overall market. All right, so with that said, what are we going to do? Well, a couple of trading opportunities. Let's see, we've got 62.11 here was our channel top. If you've got Fast Track Trader, you see a thermal grid there as well. To the bottom side, we had 61.85. I'm sorry, 60.75 for our channel bottom, which is way down here. And then for support resistance, we've got 61.18, just right here, and 61.85, which is right up here. All right there. Okay, so we've got our support resistance levels on. Next thing to do would be to compress the channels, since we see a little bit of an opportunity there to compress channels. The one that's not on our report is really right through here. We have this channel here at 61.62, 63 that was setting up for us as a compressed channel. Now, my challenge here, we're seeing this, kind of dipping to the downside here on the pound USD. We do see potential dollar weakness when we look at the futures market, and we also see that with the most recent data that came out from our news announcements. So what do we do? What are we going to do? Well, I think there's some additional opportunity, to look for trades, and I guess we can go two ways. One, we can look here. We've broken down below. We're coming back. We're retesting this Asia low. We could look to take a really quick trade off of this, but that kind of alarms me a little bit just based on where we're seeing the market lean right now. I'm going to hold off on this pound altogether. Let's see what this is doing. I'm going to hold off on the pound altogether right now and just see if we can wait for news. My gut tells me this is going to be the decision point, the 62.67. We might struggle here for a little bit, but I think what's going to happen is we'll end up on news breaking above it and having this as a point that we retest before the bigger move. So, I'm going to look here for potential buying opportunities on this, but I need to wait for news to come out. We don't want to get too much of a bias about where the market's going, but right now, the news has been negative. The futures market's leaning to the positive side, and if anything, I would see this breaking back up. But we need a point to sell it, to buy it off of, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna use this 61.62 or 61.63 as the level to watch post news. So you've got news in half an hour. We'll wait and see what occurs there. If it's positive, for the U.S. dollar, we might see this push down. Then we can look to sell it off of this. If it's negative, then I'd look for it to break above here, and then I'd buy it back off of 61.63, 61.62 area right here. So this is just going to be, I'm going to note this is the number to watch. I'm not going to place a trade on it right this second. Kind of like we did here for the U.S. dollar. We put a trade on, but then we have a number we're going to watch up here. We'll see how this one goes, how it works out. We might look to peel some profit off here very quickly if it's struggling. Once we get closer to news, we'll see when we get to the end of class what this is doing. We might adjust this if we're up, 5 or 6 pips. We might just go ahead and adjust this and peel off our 5 pips or so just to be safe coming into that news announcement. But we'll leave this on for a few minutes and just see what occurs there. All right, so last one up. So for the pound, I'm not going to take a trade right this second. I'm going to wait for news here in half an hour, and then we're going to watch this 61.63 for potential entry. But we're just kind of caught. I think we might just range here for a little bit until that news announcement occurs. That's why I'm not placing a trade right now. For the U.S. yen, current price is 97.29, and our daily report tells us that we have a channel top at 97.40, and that's actually a 2 of 3 channel here. 97.40 is aligned on both levels, so that's a 2 of 3. And we've got a channel bottom at 96.74. Support resistance levels are showing us that we have support down below us at 97.12. If we break below that, we've got 96.74, which aligns with our channel bottom, so it makes that a little bit stronger. To the upside, we have 97.67, and then 97.78. All right. Are we trending or oscillating on this yen pair today? Looks like we're very much oscillating. There's probably not a clearer definition of an oscillating market than this right here. Channel been broken? Have we broken above 97.40 or back below 96.74? The answer there is yes. Actually, we did break above 97.40. We just couldn't really stay above it. We did break through it right here. It's kind of part of the top of this click challenge right now. Here we go. 97.40. So it was the top of that thermal grid. We did break above it and pushed up, and then once it came back and broke below, it's been struggling right here. 97.40 is been a tough area. So this thermal grid right here has been very solid for us as well for the day. But channel broken, yes. Average range, well, today we've moved 44 pips. Average range here recently, over the summertime blues has been 70 to 80 pips. Now this is another currency pair that typically moves in the 100 to 115 pip range. So it's really been reduced. We're waiting to see if we can get some additional movement here shortly out of this currency. News, well, yeah, news is coming up, and for the futures market, they fully come online here in another couple of minutes, but still not a lot of change. We're seeing, positive futures market lean, so that means negative for the U.S. dollar. Now, you got to keep your eye on that as they digest news, and as we have our next bit of news coming up in about half an hour, we'll see how that currently goes. For right now, this 97.36, 97.40, is looking like a pretty good area to sell off of, but we probably need to wait for news on it. But let's wait for news. But for news, 97.40 is going to be our area to watch. This 97.40, 97.36, this grid area right here is the area to watch. If we get additional negative news, we might push up initially to retest this again and then break down. If we get some positive news, it might push through here and give us an opportunity to go long on this U.S. yen again. But for right now, very mixed market. We've had some news coming out, and typically when we see this, this homes report will be the last one. You'll see an initial blip on the unemployment, and then it'll range for a bit, and then it won't move until we get the new home report. This is the last, kind of the linchpin, right, of what we're waiting for to really see the markets move for the day. So we'll wait for this home sales report here in about half an hour, and then see where we can trade after that. And again, typically what we want to do is wait for that initial exuberance to wear off, and then take some trades from there. We're a half hour before news. We've got 6 pips locked in. This might range for a bit. I'm going to go ahead and just peel this off and just keep grab my 5 pips to be happy with it for right now, and then see where this goes. Oh man, my 4 pips. Darn it. It must have blipped down just a little bit when it touched me. So we'll see how that goes. Just lock it in, and we'll watch this area for news as well. This 3811. Keep an eye on that one for post news also. So really not a lot of trades we can absolutely take for the day until we get news out of the way here in half an hour. So I don't want to push it. There's no reason to take unnecessary risk, and the markets are more than likely going to be range bound for the next half hour as we wait for home sales, and then following home sales, we should have some great trading opportunities. So keep an eye there. And just a quick reminder, the non-farm payroll that was scheduled for next week has been moved a week later, so that'll be November 8th. All right, so with that said, I'll turn it over to Forex Joe and let him provide some of his insight and knowledge as well.
Okay, Brian, good morning, everyone. Give me a couple seconds here. I'm trying to move some windows around. I've been on the phone here earlier, and I've been kind of listening in the back of my mind. Right now we have some Senate. Is it Senate? I don't know if it's Senate or House. It don't really matter. They're all idiots. But we're having some hearings on this website, and, the more I see everything going on in Washington, there's no wonder that this world is screwed up. I mean, it's Republicans, it's Democrats, it's a combination of both. And I try to stay out of political messes, but it really has an effect and starting to have an effect all around the world in the Forex market. So as more and more things happen around the world, we're going to have to pay attention to what exactly is going on with this government shutdown, with the debt ceiling, and the United States going up to $17 trillion in debt, what recently took place in Greece, Portugal, Italy, what's happening in China, what's happening down under in Australia, in Japan. It's all coming together like a confluence of events. Aristophanes once wrote that, roughly translated, youth ages, immaturity's outgrown, ignorance can be educated, and drunkenness sobered, but stupid lasts forever. There are so many stupid people that are littering the halls of Congress and Senate for their own means and gain. It is becoming a catastrophe here, not only in the U.S., but around the world. The elitist is just unbelievable. So you have on one side the Democrats that wants everybody on soup lines. We now have 50 million people that are in food stamps. You've got the Republicans that's trying to protect everybody that's super rich, and they're both out for each other. So I'll get off my high horse with that, but my point of contention is try to watch what's happening with this website. The website being screwed up is not the problem. It's the fact that people are lying. They need 7 million sign-ups for this Obamacare to work, and we're talking about 7 million people that's actually going to be paying in that are healthy. Somebody has to pay for the unhealthy. Now, I'm for everybody having access to free health care, but the bottom line, there is a system out there that's cost people billions, and the hospitals or the emergencies room can't turn anybody down. All you have to do is ask the illegal aliens that are coming in by the droves. But recently had a family member that was in a bad way and went into the hospital, was in the hospital for about 6 weeks and didn't have insurance. And the bill was over $600,000, and the person didn't have to pay anything because of what transpired. And they did save his life. The other part of the equation that continues to drive me absolutely crazy is the fact that if you don't get 7 million people that are paying, that are healthy, it's starting to screw. And I'm 57 years old. Some of you are young. Some of you, if you've got your lives ahead of you, you're definitely screwed. If you're below 35, welcome to what was said in the movie with Michael Douglas about the ninjas. No income, no job, and everything that's going on because of all these derivatives and everything that's happened here in the last 20 years. But you're definitely screwed, and our kids are screwed, because at some point in time there's going to be a reckoning day for this $17 trillion in debt to be paid, or we're going to become a banana republic. But that's another story. How is this going to affect us now and in the future? I would encourage everyone, for every waking minute that you have, get rid of your outside interest except for your family. Start participating in what could be the absolute worst that could happen. I'm not saying it is going to happen. I'm not somebody that sits here and looks at a situation and say that the absolute worst could happen. but it's better to be prepared and have a game plan in place in case something does happen. We're seeing kids now going into schools. We're talking about kids that are in middle school taking guns, ammunition into the schools and actually shooting people, and then turn around and turning the guns on themselves and shooting themselves. We have drugged our kids. It is rampant. We have left our kids to where at one time the greatest nation in the world is now at the bottom half as far as educating kids, with the leave no kid behind program that never worked. You have families, because two families have to work. More and more people are now concerned that they're going to have to work until they're 70 or they're 80 years old, and that they don't have enough money saved because they're just trying to make ends meet. As I alluded to earlier, 50 million people are on food stamps. If you are not awake right now and see what's going on around the world, then you're part of the sheep. All these polls that you see, it's really interesting on some of these polls that they take. If you're on one side, you take the polls, especially from people that are pretty much stupid, as I alluded to earlier. They can't name who the vice president is. And now we got all these people swearing in. This reminds me of all the recent when all the people from the cigarette industry all took the oath and they all lied. Then we had all the people that came in, the Jamie Dimons, and all the people from all the banks, and they lied. All the baseball players that said that they didn't take steroids, they all stood up at the same time and took the oath. They all lied. And this is going to be a farce today. The bottom line is, forget about the website. It has to do with, and this is the magical number, if they don't get 7 million people who are healthy to pay for this, then our debt, which is $17 trillion, has been figured out by people a lot smarter than me that I respect. I've rechecked the numbers. I've talked to people around the world that are huge traders, that are storing for things to get ready that's going to be unprecedented here before too long. Our national debt is going to go to $21 trillion into 2014 or 15, because it's going to cost over $3 trillion to pay for this when they thought it was going to be $900 million. That's if they don't get 7 million people that are healthy that's going to pay for this, because somebody has to pay for this program. The numbers don't add up. You've got people who are young that really have to take a look at school debt, because you got more and more people, because of the colleges in today's world not really teaching people to get a job or get educated for a job that's going to pay them for anything. And we've heard me talk about this many times where, you know, if you're a college student here recently, you're either living at home and now you can stay under your parents' insurance until you're 26. Why not raise it to 30? I was very facetious about that here in the past. The other part of the equation, two things that they've learned is, can I take your order, please, or I'm here to deliver your pizza. Now that I've got this all out of the way, I sent everybody a report this morning. Hopefully you got it this morning. You were able, if you paid attention. I talked about the euro US dollar going above 3,800. We did go back above 3,800. Those of you that were able to scalp that trade, congratulations. We're in a situation where the euro is going to hang out right around this 3,800 number. Anytime it goes below the 38 to 37.99, you're trading live. Scalp it. This seems to be a key area. Our high for this session, which was earlier, I don't know if it is now, but it was earlier. I haven't been checking it because I've been doing other things, was 38.23, which is right near our bias number of 38.27, so we went within 4 pips of that. That may have changed here in the last hour. I haven't really been checking the numbers, and Brian has that. But we're still only moved in about a 60-pip range today. My point of contention was, yesterday we had like 18 currency pairs of the 22 that moved 100 pips, and one of the currency pairs that didn't move was the wonderful euro US dollar, when it only moved about 60 pips yesterday, and it's only moved about 59, 60 pips today. The key area is 38.27. If it continues to bounce off that number, then 37.99. These are your ranges for the rest of the day. Pay attention to what gold's doing, pay attention to what Dow's doing, and try to stay away from the fact that this website is a debacle. It drives me absolutely crazy that in today's technology world, the Democratic Party, which more or less got all their people elected because of them getting on Twitter, getting on Facebook, and using all of this back in 2008 to blitz the Republicans, were not smart enough to find somebody that was technically savvy in the United States. Why in the world would they hire a company and spend $600+ million and make it a Canadian company that was fired by the Canadian country because they couldn't deliver the website that they promised. One of the reasons was because they were outside the United States, it would be more difficult for them to be scrutinized if they made a mistake like they did. They're using 10-year-old technology that somebody that I talked to that knew said you could spend $5 to $10 million and this would work anywhere. Amazon. I think everybody here has probably heard of Amazon or maybe bought things off Amazon. I use it a lot. Amazon spent $80 million to get their website. It's one of the best websites out there as far as doing e-commerce. You're telling me that we couldn't find anybody in the United States, with all the jobs being outsourced, with everything going on, that we couldn't find somebody to spend $600 million here in the United States that could have had this website up and running. Then you're telling me that the signature program by our current president, people were afraid to tell him that it wasn't going to work and no heads had rolled. This is the type of world that we live in. Every time I think I have it figured out or mathematical probabilities have to where this can't continue, I am slammed in the face and hit by a train. The rubber band is going to snap. I don't know when. If you want to be part of the solution for your family, then I would spend every waking moment looking at these reports and making sure that you hone your skills, participate, ask questions, and be sure that you're part of the process that's going to be able, for when this does hit the fan, that you'll be able to move, if necessary, out of U.S. dollars into pound dollars, into Swiss francs, into something in the Forex markets, and also be able to trade, because there's always going to be a currency pair that's going to be strengthening and weakening. If you read the report that I talked about today, also there's some other information in there of substance talking about some of the other pairs. We need to remain patient because next week is going to be an explosion because you have the Euro nation that is beginning to start seeing a little bit of stress, and there's going to be some answers that's going to come forward next week because we have the ECB, we have the Bank of England, we have Draghi's press conference, and this is going to be in 2 weeks. Excuse me, I said next week, but forgive me. It's actually going to be on November the 7th, a Thursday, and then November the 8th. So in 2 weeks, we're going to have the next big explosion. It's probably going to define what's going to happen for the rest of 2014. So if you can just keep plugging away, we're going to have some movements here that's going to drive some of these markets, and I'm starting to see some reoccurring trends that's going to give us an opportunity to see several pairs move anywhere from 300 to 1,000 pips. Let me repeat that, 300 to 1,000 pips, probably between next week and by the middle of January, when the next big thing or the government shutdown, which will probably happen again, and then February 7th for this debt ceiling. Try to understand that there's going to be a lot of rhetorical things going on. Stay away from it. Don't let this website, this is just another deflection. More and more deflections are going to happen. Why aren't the people on the Hill meeting immediately to try to come up with a way to get a balanced budget amendment or try to solve some of the issues? So, as we continue, we have 2 weeks before it's going to hit the fan again. Be cognizant of the 3827 number here. Look for reversals off this 3827. 37.99 will be huge for the next couple of days. The pound's looking for a sense of direction. We have Bank of England Governor Carney speaking today at 12:45. I put it in the chat today. He'll be talking at 12:45 Eastern. That may define what's going to happen with the pound dollar. If you wanted to put a gun to my head, I would think the pound dollar is going to retest 6,200 and possibly 6,300 under current market conditions, but we will wait to see what Bank of Governor Carney says before we take a look and make sure that that is going to be confirmed. You also have the U.S. Swissy and the Aussie dollar looking like that they are going to have some movements, and then of course the yen right around the 97.35. If it breaks below 97, 96.56 is a huge support area. It's a huge support area. Anytime you get a bounce off at 96.56, get right back in at the 97.01 or the 96.70 range. So we have plenty of opportunities here. Try to lower your take profit 1 and take profit 2s. Here's the bottom line, okay? Get your 200 pips, and then you can take a little bit more risk. We're going to have, this is at the end of the month, it's the last week of this month. Next week, let's make sure that we go for our 200 pips before it hits the fan on November 7th and the 8th. Stay the course, continue to press forward, and be ready, because it's going to get worse before it gets a whole lot better. All you have to do is take a look at all the crazy things that's going on, and any people with logic and common sense has to be ticked off. I'll turn it back over to you, Brian, and everybody have a great day.
All right, thank you very much, Forex Joe. Yep, all right, guys. Well, good information there, and we've got some news coming up in 15 minutes, so be cognizant of that. We've got the area to watch for all of our pairs that we went through in class. We're watching the euro, the pound, and the US yen. And we've got some areas to watch there, just depending on what occurs with news. We'll know, we'll wait for the news to happen, give it 15, 20 minutes, and then after that, we'll be able to find some trades. But watch these key areas here that we identified. We're keeping our eye on this 37.36, 37.40 area for the US yen. We're keeping our eye on 61.63 for this pound USD, and we're watching here this 38.11 area, maybe 3800, depending on what occurs with news for the euro USD. We did grab a couple of pips. We got 6 pips, 4 and then 1 and 1 on this for this morning. So quick scalp, not too bad. Hope to maybe get a little bit more out of it, but ultimately we got some pips there, and then I think we'll stay range bound for the next few minutes until we see that news. So just trade safe, and we will see you guys in the next class, which will be Monday night. It's our quick Monday night class that we go through just to show how to use the software for our new traders, and then talk about how we can utilize the data report to set ourselves up for the week. And then after that, we're back on Tuesday and Thursday next week. So that is it for me. You guys have a great one, and we will talk to you soon. And I'll post a recap today to our YouTube channel. So after news occurs, we'll look for some trades and just show what we did following that news announcement 15, 20 minutes after news, and how we traded it. And we'll post a recap there. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great one.